Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of Sound Money Matters. We have an amazing guest. I think you guys are going to love him. He is an executive producer for shows. He has been in the industry for a long time. He has a legacy in the industry. But not only is he in the media field, he's a sound money advocate. He is launching a sound money company and a privacy company. And we got a lot to uncover with this guest. Let me introduce to you, everyone, to William Browning. Hey, William, how are you?
How's it going, my friend? Glad to be with
Good.
you.
Yeah, likewise, man. I'm glad we could have you on. And I think that, you were just talking before the show and you were saying that this is your first public interview for not just your company, but also I think we're going to be doing a public showing of our sizzle reel, the first showing of the sizzle reel. But before we get to that, I'm going to go with the tradition that our late founder, Jim Forsyth, which you knew, you met him before he passed away last year. With all his interviews, he asked the same two questions. The first one is this: why is sound money important?
Well, it's a very important question to talk about sound money, number one, because really, when it comes down to freedom, I've asked a lot of random people, where does freedom come from? And so many people say, oh, it's from the government. And I think that's the biggest lie that we've been fed for so long, because in reality, your liberty is given to you at birth. It is something that is inherent in your soul. And I think that's something that we have to focus back on. And then really what you have to do is fight to maintain the liberty that you were given by God. And so for me, there's a few foundations of liberty and freedom. If the camera on a tripod is freedom and there's three legs underneath there, that's the tripod effect, right? And those are the foundations holding up freedom. I don't think that you can have freedom without sound money, having control over your property and money being essentially the key there. Then you are not truly free in this world. So I think it's very important to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another aspect of freedom is privacy, right? Like, I think that that is part of sound money. I think that's why so many stackers and so many sound money advocates are so adamant against electronic currencies, right? And there's a fear in the stacking community, but there are people like us at Citizens for Money. We believe that there is a need for asset-backed digital currencies, and there is a way to have asset-backed digital currencies in a private way. But before we dig into that, tell us in the audience a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so if we go way back, my family's been in the TV movie business for over 75 years. So for the viewers that may remember the creature from the Black Lagoon, that was my grandfather in all three movies. He also was the creator of Flipper. So those are probably some noteworthy things that he's known for. He did hundreds, if not thousands, of episodes and films over the years. It kind of built the film industry in Florida, a lot to do with animals, a lot to do with water work. And then I started as an executive producer on my first TV show. No idea what I was doing. But I saw that there was some issues in the industry. And my grandfather, although he was a legend, was not a wealthy man. And so I realized that the networks and studios owned everything in almost this mafioso fashion. So even when I asked my grandfather, hey, help me out, I'm doing my first TV show, he's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You need to fall in line. And I said, well, I think there's a better way to do things, a more free way to do things in which I can own what I create. And so I was doing decentralized Hollywood back in the day. And so it's kind of interesting how that's where my career started. So I've been producing TV shows for about 20 years on major networks and platforms. And then fast forward to today, actually, Jim Forsyth, I was probably one of the last people to speak with him before he passed. And you were pretty much on that conversation as well. And it was really about what was his mission in life. And that was to educate the world on sound money principles. And so I feel like there's no better way to get to the masses than to break through the control of the media by being uncontrolled through how I've built the entertainment business in a more freer way. So we're actually doing a TV series with Citizens for Sound Money to talk about money myths. What are the myths around money and what are the truths behind it? So that kind of leads us into where we are today. But I also have a technology company with a patented solution that protects your privacy. So that's a big component. I think privacy is important in every aspect of life to have freedom. But I also think that privacy really has a major component to do with money that is important to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. For the audience, I mean, they heard about Jim passing, but the reason you spoke to him right before, we had a victory party in Naples, Florida, because we got a $200,000 appropriations in 2023 to study sound money legislation. So it was a major victory. It was our first legislative victory. So all of us showed up in Florida, and it was great. After the party, we talked about the TV show. We had a board meeting at the event. I said, listen, we need to make a decision on our TV show. I grabbed the board, Jim. We went outside the restaurant. I said, this is a board meeting. I'll write the minutes later, but we need to vote on the TV show. We talked about it. Jim's like, listen, we need to do this, and I'll pay out of my pocket to get this done. So we voted on it. On the drive back to the hotel, we got there. We called you, and I think there was a 1-hour conversation about the TV show and the importance. And I think you told me, and I think I overheard him saying that, this was his purpose, this TV show, to spread sound money. And, I want to show the audience what we have been working on for the better part of a year and a half. We have traveled the world, and we're still in production. And we'll get into more details. I'll let William talk about more of the details of the show. But I want to reveal publicly for the first time the sizzle reel of money myths. In the beginning, humans came up with things to use as an intermediary for exchange. There had to be something that was scarce.
There's a reason why gold and silver have been money for 5,000 years, because you can't inflate them artificially.
There had to be a way to keep it safe. People started using the goldsmith's warehouse certificate as currency. Well, that's where paper currency started that was backed by gold. Then he's like, you know what I'll do? I'll write a few more pieces of paper saying, yeah, here's more gold than you actually deposited. And he started fractionally reserving the gold in the vault.
The founding fathers knew you couldn't just print gold and silver. That's why they chose it.
If you look at all the great empires in the world, their rise to power is because they had real money, gold and silver as a currency. Their decline is when they started debasing that currency. Every single time a nation debases their currency, they lose their prominence as the superpower of the world, and then they eventually collapse.
The purchasing power of the fiat system has been diluted 99% over the past 100 years.
Remember when a chocolate bar cost a quarter?
The problem with the US dollar is that it's a currency that is backed by nothing, that the government can just basically print out of thin air.
When you print more of those dollars, they will buy you less stuff at the grocery store. But it happens not just in America. The entire world's economic system hinges on the dollar.
New figures today revealed a spike in inflation. Uncomfortable reading at the Reserve Bank.
There have been thousands of fiat currencies throughout history. Not a single fiat currency has succeeded.
Well, what's happening now is, despite what the financial media is saying, demand on the streets, like my groceries, are going up much faster than you're telling me. My rent is going up much faster than you're telling me. I can't afford gas in my car. We're getting all this currency influx in our society. Prices are raising very quickly. I don't see anybody in the mainstream media or in the political level talking about post-dollar world.
The biggest challenge that sound money faces right now is education. People still think $20 is worth $20.
When you take a finance course in college, they teach you a set of financial concepts which have never really truly been proven.
We're basically in a cycle of the process where we're just like a runaway train.
We're adding $1 trillion new dollars of debt every 100 days.
They're not fully liquid with all the deposits people are putting into the bank.
Inflation is way worse than what they're reporting.
If we don't have free money, we can't truly be a free society because people can't prosper. We're living in an electronic age. People are not going to go back to a strictly cash-based system.
The money of the future has to be able to leverage the internet. It has to be able to connect with anyone's phone anywhere in the world.
You can live off of crypto gold and silver today. I've been doing this since 2019.
An asset-backed digital currency is a digital currency that's backed by gold or silver. This allows physical money to be transactional again.
Sound money puts control in the hands of the people.
If you fix the money, you will fix the world.
Research indicates that when you back any financial system with 40% gold, it makes it stable. You can free yourself from this system, but we need to reach enough people that enough people understand this. And that's why what we're doing here with education is so important.
Cryptocurrencies have radically transformed my world in a really positive way. The capacity for real financial liberation is really true and really there.
I feel compelled to help create a better future for my kids. And if I have the knowledge and the tools to be able to make it happen, I'm gonna do it. I want to buy you something, but I don't have any money.
It's time for people to turn back to our roots and to something that they can't hyperinflate.
The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time is now.
It's become a very big mission, and collectively, if a lot of different people are working on it, we have the greatest chance of success to change the world.
Well, there you have it. The first time we've had multiple renditions of the sizzle reel. The first time I saw the sizzle reel, man, I got goosebumps. I'm like, this is exactly what we need, and you're the executive producer of the show. So the relationship is that, you and us, we are strategically partnered, and own the rights to the show. And it's because we are both aligned on sound money principles, privacy, and improving everybody's lives around the world. So tell the audience a little bit about what has happened over the last year and a half, what you've seen traveling the world in different cultures, and how the information you've learned, because you've learned a lot on your trips about sound money and different methods of creating local economies. You even went to Argentina and all over the place. So share with the audience a little about the show, and then I want to jump into privacy, because our show is about sound money, what money was, what money is right now, and the future of money. So go ahead and share with everybody a little bit about that.
It's kind of interesting watching the sizzle reel, because I feel like although it had a great inception of what we started with, after traveling the world to so many different places with so many powerful and intelligent people, it's just come so far. So I'm really excited to see what the final product's going to be. We're heavy in post-production right now and still filming some last elements. It's interesting. We've been in the Middle East, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. We've been all over Africa, Uganda. I remember holding a camera in a gold mine where at any moment the bamboo underneath my cowboy boots might fall out, and that would be the end of it. But I had to get the right shot. I was invited into Nelson Mandela's house to meet with the Mandela family to talk about Africa. And we went to places like Argentina that experienced the highest hyperinflation in modern history. We went in Colombia and we're talking about, how not only are there bad actors like the banking institutional systems, but also the cartels. And what do you have to do to maintain your value every single day that you work for when the pesos goes up and down, or maybe you can't get paid because your employer can't get you the money? So there's a lot of interesting things that we got to talk about with some of the most powerful people in the world. And not only what you hear on camera is interesting, but when I get to spend time with these people and have a glass of whiskey and smoke a cigar, and all of a sudden the secrets start coming out, it really opens up your eyes to what's really happening behind the scenes. And that's really what we want to tell the world about, that I think is really important. So I mean, when it comes to privacy, the component of where privacy and money is so important is that without privacy, you have a target on your back every single day. If people know what you have, they want to take it from you. And so that's why I think it is an important component of freedom, but the two kind of merge together at the top. So happy to dive into that as well.
Yeah. We're talking right before the show about, Sam Altman from OpenAI and what he was saying about how people have this sense of privacy when they're talking to their attorneys or talking to their therapist. But with ChatGPT and all AI, if you read the fine print, they basically tell you that all the information, all the questions you ask, they're recording. And it's quite scary that so many people are. I mean, look, there's a need. People don't feel heard, and AI is a great tool to really communicate with, but people are revealing really deep information that are utilizing that, and there is no privacy whatsoever. So,
I think, one of the key things that is quite alarming is the boldness that they have right now. Big tech overall has this boldness of, we own your pictures, we own your posts, we own what you have in your private files and in your private emails on our servers. Your information is our intellectual property, right? And, OpenAI, he boldly comes out and he laughs about it. He's like, you people have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
You go into your therapist's office and you have confidentiality between the patient and the doctor. You go into your lawyer's office and you have attorney-client privilege. You go into ChatGPT and you type in a question as though it's your therapist or your lawyer. Guess what? It's not, and it's not even legally bound. And so they're absorbing information on you every single day, and they're going to use it against you in a multitude of fashions.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the DNA companies that are hacked, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your DNA is the property of some guy in China. I mean, it's insane to think that this is true, but the problem with it is it really lies down at the core element. People have two options in the current state that we live in. Number one, have convenience and sacrifice your privacy and your ownership of your intellectual property, or have convenience and give it all away, right?
Yeah.
So either you live in a bunker, right? Or you live in modern day, but you're always at risk, constantly. And it's a sad reality of today's current standing. So that's what we're fighting against.
No, 100%. And AI, there's suits now against AI for stealing information, and there are things that can be done. Like California and Florida has some of the best privacy laws, and they were written also for AI. So if you're a Floridian or Californian, you legally OpenAI, when you send a request, by law, has to delete all your information. So
But you're trusting the government again.
Yeah,
right.
True.
And so here's the other issue that you have right now. Look at HIPAA laws. Okay.
Yeah.
HIPAA is a group of laws that protect your healthcare information.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, my ex-wife works at a hospital with 30,000 other people that my healthcare information sits on their servers. So at any point in time, any of these people can look at my healthcare records and do what they want with it. Now, would it be illegal? Yes. Do they do it all the time? Absolutely. It happens all the time. So the problem is does the law prevent bad things from happening? And the people that are criminals that don't care about the law or too powerful to be prosecuted by the law, do they follow those rules? And the answer is absolutely not. Now, one thing I want to touch on that I think is extremely important for people to think about is in the age of digital currencies. The problem is, so if I'm doing transaction through bank accounts, the only entities that are really seeing what I'm doing are the banks where this transaction takes place. And then if they get audited or the IRS subpoenas information, whatever, then maybe that information is seen. When I do a transaction on public blockchain, it is public.
Yep.
My business partner the other day bought some XRP from Uphold.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on and you see exactly how much he bought and exactly how much XRP Uphold had at that moment in time. I mean, so that's insane. And people will go, well, that's the only option that we have. And so that's where my company has developed a privacy vault that holds the forensic ledger inside of it so that it can be a private ledger system while us still not having access to it. So I think we need to start changing the way we do things into the new future of what digital currencies, but even healthcare records, your AI needs to sit within that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And there are a slew of companies coming out with private solutions, right? And your company, which is called Privacy and Bandit, right? Tell us a little bit about what your patented technology. You mentioned that earlier in the show. How is this different than, say, I don't know, what is that phone program that people download on Android, Graphene OS, or any of these other technology companies? How is your patent technology different?
So there's a lot of people that say that they have privacy solutions, and really they're just talking about different forms of encryption. Ultimately, I think it's kind of funny. So like, I'll use a simple example. Elon Musk buys Twitter and now calls it X. And for whatever reason, at the moment, people feel comfortable with Elon and they go, okay, cool. What if he's Hitler tomorrow? And I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, what if? What if he changes everything about it? It was all a big game. And now he wants to use everything that you posted on Twitter, past, present, and use it against you. Okay, he can do that. Why? Because your information sits on his servers. So the CEO of that company has access to your information at any point in time. And what are they going to do with that information? So what we have with a patented solution is we've created a digital vault that even I, as the CEO of the company, I have zero access to your information. And not only that, we've also taken quantum technology to encrypt it against quantum hacking. So essentially, we use things in the physical world. So quantum can basically process things. Quantum computers can process things at an outrageous speed within milliseconds and can break any algorithm on the face of the planet. So now they can hack anything that you have if it's a mathematical equation. If we use physical light spectrums that are like your fingerprint, it's unique and random, it cannot be predicted. And so we use those forms of technology to encrypt these vaults so that it's preventing hacking, number one. Only the individual has access to the information. And we also put these servers all over the world in different jurisdictions with redundancy so that no one government can have the ability to shut us down in any place in the world. It is virtual, but it's not on a cloud. And so what's happening here is that because it's virtual, it can be accessed on any device in the planet. So you can actually hold this information on whatever device you're using in that moment. It doesn't sit on the device. So I will commend, there's some companies creating encrypted pieces of hardware, like an encrypted phone or whatever it is. The problem is you lose the phone gets stolen, the phone gets hacked. Now you're at risk again. So in this case, you have access to the same information on any device that you have, and you also have legacy with it. So we're building in a form of, let's call it like common law trust law, in which your intellectual property that sits inside that vault, you can pass down to the next generation in whichever way you see fit. So you never fully lose your legacy from a digital perspective. So we're launching the first private cell phone service, the first private internet, social media, where the posts, the pictures, everything that you do is your intellectual property. It can't be censored. It can't be shut down. You have your own platform within the window that we create. And we're also creating the first private ledger digital currency that is asset-backed digital currency. So this is an example here. This is one of our silver coins.
Yeah.
And this is a copper coin here, another example of real-world assets that are being tokenized and redeemable one for one. And we actually are this week signing an exclusivity deal for one of the best technology companies in the world in livestock. They actually track cattle. They can tell you if it's pregnant, if it has a sickness, what its nutrition is, where it's moving, all these kinds of things to create transparency with cattle. Can be used for sheep and pigs and other things. And we're actually tokenizing livestock. So I think that's the future of money. You know, we were stuck in the past of using precious metals because it was divisible. But now we can tokenize things that may not be so easily divisible, but through tokenization, we can do it in a private way so that people can transact business in whatever commodity they see fit, and in a private way.
Yeah, I've been saying on different YouTube interviews and broadcasts, people ask, what's the future of money? And I said, the future of money is digital. Digitizing real world assets, whether it's 100% real world assets backed or partially backed, like what they're planning on doing on bricks. But that is the future. And what fascinates me about your technology is the quantum aspect, because it isn't just you can access it anywhere in the world. Within quantum mechanics, you can technically be anywhere in the universe because of the quantum entanglement, and you have access to your information. Because I think I asked Sean, who is your partner, who developed the technology, about this, and he's like, yeah, technically, you can be anywhere in the universe, and because of quantum entanglement, you'd have access to that. So
right now, we find it fascinating that you can hold so much information on a little thumb drive, right? This little tiny thing, like our quantum technology that we use for encryption, fits on a microchip. The environment that creates this light spectrum that gets processed multiple times a second, it's in a chip this small. So if you think about that for a second, think about your DNA. Your DNA holds information. So, again, when it comes to creation and all the amazing things that we have in this world, we just haven't fully understood it yet. The more we understand about how it works, the more we understand how communication can go leaps and bounds. So I do believe that information can be stored in your own DNA. And then there's certain aspects within the atmosphere in which we can communicate 10 times better than we are now with mesh networks and satellite communication. I mean, soon that's going to be obsolete as well, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then, for the audience who might not understand quantum mechanics and everything, like, what are some practical steps? Let's say the normal, like, stacker who now, let's say, has a Kinesis account or whatever. How does your technology, can it be integrated with current companies for security reasons? How do we prevent, let's say, we did a segment with Rob Keynes about real ID and how governments are using IDs to basically track everything, and they're afraid of the social credit system, like how China has it. Like, what exactly does your quantum technology do, and how can we prevent the government or any company from getting access to our information without our permission?
So we're actually placing servers that are in EMP-proof, ballistic-proof capsules, is what we call it, all over the world. We're going in places and jurisdictions where there's certain privacy laws and certain treaties with different countries, so that the likelihood of having an issue in one country or another would be very unlikely. So those capsules sit in small amounts of real estate distributed in a lot of different properties so that it can't be found. I think one of the biggest mistakes people are doing is they're doing 100,000 square foot data centers.
Yeah.
One bomb takes it all out, right? Yeah. Or one EMP or whatever you want to call it. So we're distributing these things, some in Dubai, some in Panama, some in Singapore, right? And all that information has redundancy. So, if the FBI comes into my location in Florida and says, hey, we're going to shut you down because we don't like you right now for whatever reason, whatever administration is in power.
The government would never do that.
Yeah, exactly. But they come in, they break down the door, they say, we want access to that information. Well, good luck with that. I don't even have access to my user's information. So you're actually going to have to go to Daniel's house and give him a warrant for his information, and he can decide if he wants to give it to you, because I can't get access. Mm-hmm. And then that information, you want to shut down the server, go for it. There's redundancy in Dubai and Panama. Oh, by the way, you don't have jurisdiction there. So good luck with that one, right? So those are some things that we've done in a practical way through logistics and real estate. We also are tokenizing the real estate that the data centers sit on, so that the real estate tokens actually make dividends on profitability. Okay, so that's really cool. So not only do you own the real estate, the equity, but you're getting dividends on the income from the data centers. And so, those are a couple things that are pretty cool that give people back the power of their information. But I think, it's one of these things, like, you can't trust the banks. You can't trust the government. You can't trust big tech. Who can you trust? Yourself.
Right.
So guess what? If they don't have access to your information, then why give it up? And so the beauty of this too is people say, well, for advertisers, you have to give information. Well, we have an algorithm built within the vault that allows people to pull advertisements for their demographic information, and it'll never disseminate their actual identity. So now the advertiser knows that it's not a fake account. It's not a BS account that it's a robot or something like that. It's a real person because it's validated. But at the same time, they'll never know who it is. So the apps that use advertisement make more money with us because the demographic information is more accurate. And that's how we get paid. So it's actually free to our users. And so now you can have private ledger digital currencies sitting inside your vault in a wallet that you can never lose, can never be destroyed. And now no one can see what you own. And that's the biggest thing about privacy and money. Really, the only way I could do that before is you and I do a secret transaction in a back room, and I give you some copper, some gold, right? And we do that transaction. Nobody knows about it. That was the beauty of peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
But if you want to stay in the future and you want to do global transactions, I want to buy a cow from some guy in Uganda. Well, if I'm in Colombia, I could never do that before. And by the way, if I'm in Colombia and the cartel runs the town, there's no banks. So how do I get out of the peso? How do I transact business anywhere outside my town? You can't. And if they know you have it on you, then you're going to get shot. And inflation takes your value away every single day of your life. So what if I can choose every day of the week how I want to hold my value? I want to have 3 cows in an area where there's no cows. I want to have gold and silver vaulted in Turkey with kinesis. And so we have built a back end, an engine for privacy that all these companies can build on top of and utilize our technology. And we still, I was just with the CEO of Stellar a couple weeks ago in San Francisco. We had a great time together, beautiful interview she did for our show. Yeah. But the great part is we can plug right into XLM's platform and be able to immediately transact into whatever local currency and fiat in whatever jurisdiction there is around the world through existing companies that are already there. And so that's the beauty of the strategic alliances that we've been creating. We're able to plug in with a lot of major players out there.
So the quantum security, is it possible to add blockchains in companies like transactions and have it completely secured and private with privacy and Z-Bandit?
Yes. So we're actually working on a deal right now where we will actually add a layer on top of it. So you can have an encrypted phone with a quantum key number generation chip inside of the phone in your own control. And you can actually have your own vault that you control on your Wi-Fi network or cellular network. And it's not even on our virtual servers. The problem is, again, you don't want to lose that phone, right? So it's good to have it with the virtual system as well. So that is possible. Every data center that we're building right now, we had a meeting with a US-based company the other day that's going to be building out our servers for us. It's amazing what they have as well. So they're going to be able to provide within our data centers a chip that's going to be located in each one of them. So essentially everything that is done within the privacy vault is encrypted with the quantum technology. One thing we didn't talk about, we did talk about AI for a minute, but we didn't talk about our solution for that. Yeah. So we have created what we call Imprisoned, which is a prison for AI. So it puts a leash on your AI. So what we've done is we've created a one-way valve. So I go to ChatGPT, I say, hey, write my resume for me. And I give it all my past employment record. Well, guess what? OpenAI now has that, right?
Right.
That's just more information they have on me. Now, instead, what I do is I have my AI sitting within my privacy vault. So the information that I put in there, the AI is not allowed to disseminate that information to the outside. It is trapped within inside the vault. At the same time, it can go throughout the entire internet to get information to do the services for you. Now, here's the other thing. So you have one thing where you're like, I don't want my information going to these companies or to the government or whatever. Okay, so now it's trapped. Great. Now, number two, the Terminator, right? All of a sudden, it goes rogue, right? The AI decides to take over the world. Well, guess what? It can't, because it's imprisoned inside my vault. So instead of having Alexa and Siri listening to every conversation you have Z-Bandit, which is our little raccoon, more than free, untamed. You can't tame this raccoon. He's fighting for your freedom every day. He's there. He's your digital assistant, your virtual assistant, sitting inside your vault. So now he's on a leash. He can't do anything that you don't want him to do. And that information never sees the light of day unless you give permission. And so, yeah, there he is right there. So we're actually, we're taking AI right now and making him a real life character.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So he goes around, I am Z-Bandit, and he takes whatever you want. Who tells a raccoon what to do? You can't.
Yeah.
So he's essentially our Zorro, fighting for people's freedom. So, so privacy, I think, is what it's all built on. And then we're building alliances with some of the biggest companies in the world. So, we're going to have the most reliable network for cell phone service. But guess what? The government and the cell phone company can't see the phone calls you make, your GPS location, and your messages.
This is huge. No,
Well,
this is
think about
amazing.
how many times the FBI breaks into, they don't even break in. They walk into Facebook and Meta and they say, hey, I want all the stuff on that guy. And then they walk into Verizon and they say, I want all the calls, and they don't even give you a warrant.
Right.
I mean, it's illegal, but because you don't own the servers, it's not.
And even Signal. Yeah, they can't break into the Signal, but they can get the phone and they can hack into the phone and get access to your Signal.
Right. So either their servers are vulnerable to hacking, okay? And here's the other thing from a hacking perspective. So there is no proof of anyone ever hacking this quantum key number generation that we're talking about. So at this stage, it's impossible in my mind.
There's no brute force attack that can actually crack a quantum.
But let's take it a step further. Encryption. Okay. So when eBay was hacked, and I think 80 million users lost there's a class action lawsuit right now. Okay. So when that happened, okay, the hacker decided to hack one server to get 80 million people's information. Think about how effective that is.
Every year, I get a message from some company saying, Google, hey, we're going to give you 3 years of theft. Like, dude, I have all my credit cards, or like the credit bureau is locked down because my number is flying out there. Like, I've been hacked so many times.
The Social Security Administration was hacked.
Yeah.
Okay, but think about that. That's pretty efficient for a hacker, right? I just got everybody all at once. Right. Now, think about this. Every character of information, every token of information that is sitting inside your vault, each letter of your name, your blood type, each letter, everything that is spelled out inside your vault is separately encrypted, okay? And each vault, each individual has their own server, right? So no person's information sits on the same server as someone else, and it's all separately quantum encrypted. That's with amazing. Redundancy around the world. So good luck trying to hack Daniel Diaz's information.
Again.
And then one other thing you touched on that I want to point out. What is your identity? Here's another thing, right? What is freedom? Oh, it's something the government gives you. No, it's not. What is your identity? Something the government gives you? Wait, so if I don't get a driver's license and I don't have a social security number,
right?
Do I not have identity? No, you do. So that's something you're born with, right?
Right.
So what we're using is a new way to identify people through biometrics, your DNA. And actually, my business partner is on a call right now with a DNA company. So we're creating a private DNA system in which your identity is you, no one else's, can't be forged or fraud, okay? And now that is your identity. So now governments have to come to the privacy vault to identify who you are, not because of your driver's license, not because of your social security card, right? It changes the game for people because freedom and identity are closely integrated as well.
Yeah.
And then having privacy of that. So I think that's really where things are going, is we're creating a new system that cannot be forged so that people can have their privacy, complete control of their digital assets, their intellectual property, every physical thing on the world is attached to something digitally,
right?
Or a digital footprint. And so really that's what we're talking about, a digital deed. You know, where does your real estate sit? So I think that's the future.
Yeah, and you know, we're coming up to the end of the broadcast, but my question is, with your technology, we can put all AI, everything within this quantum protected algorithm or random number. What is it called? Quantum random numbering encryption, and protect AI. I mean, and basically restrict the fear that all the AI experts have. Like if OpenAI, Perplexity, all of them decide, let's put all of our AI within this encryption to prevent it from being able to break out, it can do that. You know, right? Like,
I mean, get on the bus or get out of the way.
exactly.
So what's going to happen is we're developing these solutions regardless so that our user base can utilize it, right?
Yeah.
But the strategic alliances that we're doing, I don't need to build a cell phone company when I just do a deal with a cell phone company, right?
Right.
Now, instantly, all those users are my users, and now they have privacy, right?
Yeah.
So that's the key for us is, you know, Google's going to have a small window of time where they can go, okay, look at these guys and look at what they built and look at where it's going. Right now, your Gmail, every email that you ever wrote and every email that came into you is sitting on their servers, and they send you a privacy thing saying, guess what? Everything you've written in the past is ours.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? When the alternative comes into play, people are going to be like, I don't need to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So Google's going to have a small window of time where they go, okay, we're going to build everything on privacy technology, or they're not.
Yeah.
And then people are going to choose. And guess what? If they have the alternative option where they can have privacy and convenience in their life, then it's a game changer. So right now, that's what we've been doing for the past year. We've been putting major strategic alliances together with big companies so that once we make it public, we're going to really blow the lid off on this. And it's like, go ahead and try and stop us. You know, now we're too big to fail, right?
Love it.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to, you know, you guys rolling out. I mean, I think you said this is your first public interview about your company and the technology. I think it's huge. I'm honored to be able to make that public. Our TV show Sizzle and your first interview for the company. I think it's just going to blow up, man, because privacy is so important, especially in the gold and silver sound money movement. It's like it's either you're a physical stacker and you don't want to be electronic at all because you're afraid of the government controlling you or taking your information, or you're all in, but you're opening yourself up to you know, the government taking all your information and being hacked and all that. You basically bridge it to make the people who are physical stackers comfortable with their identity, their digital footprint, completely private. I think it's amazing. So, is there anything before we go ahead and wrap it up that you want to share with the audience?
No, I mean, we've been building this for over 10 years. And only now are we coming to our launch point. And that's because the bad actors of this world want to do everything they can to stop things like us from getting out.
Yeah.
And luckily, I have the power of television and all that experience of my career building up to this to know how to go against the big players there. But I think really what it comes down to is this community, the sound money minded people, the people that love privacy. You know, these are the people we want to work with. And the sound money movement, I mean, it's something that we started together for this TV series, Money Myths. And I mean, we're a force to be reckoned with now. So guess what? Try and stop us. Yeah. So, you know, if anybody wants some information, they can go to zbandit.com. There's a lot of product offerings that we're going to have launching here soon. So we'll be adding it there. And then we're only allowing 2,000 people into our beta launch, which will just be for about a month and a half. And then we'll open it up to the mass market. But if anyone's interested, they can register on our website and we can definitely bring them on.
Any idea when that beta launch is going to happen?
It's a matter of months right now. So it's coming soon. Yeah,
right,
yeah. Awesome. We always want to make sure that we have a massive amount of infrastructure to handle our user base. So we're putting these data centers around the world, doing big deals with major real estate companies. And so once all those things are inked, then it's just a matter of going to market.
All right. Awesome. Well, William, thank you so much for coming on Sound Money Matters. It was an honor to have you on as a first time for Z Bandit, and I'm thank you for everything you've done for the TV show and the Sound Money movement. I think it's very important what we're going to be launching. Any before we go and you go, any idea when it's supposed to be airing?
So we're expecting in Q2 of 2026. So we're just really beginning the post-production process, but by the beginning of next year, this will be out into the market. We'll be on a major cable network. I can't announce it on here quite yet, but we will be able to very soon. And then after that, we're going to be on 150 streaming platforms worldwide. So it's a global show that will air for the next 20 years. So it's a great wealth of knowledge in Sound Money. And I just want to commend you, Daniel. I mean, you have been a warrior for this movement for a long time.
Thank you.
And I want to say something very important that I think people need to understand. And it's the knowledge of history that allows for you to maintain freedom.
Yeah.
Because there's so many ways the different power players in this world are manipulating truths and brainwashing people. And to the point that when they call you a conspiracy theorist, like, I'm privileged. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. That means I know the truth. Because they want to shut you down. And so you are a vast amount of knowledge in the Sound Money space. Like you iterate off the years in which, all these different things were happening in our history and Roman history. But you know what? That's what makes you so well versed in knowing why Sound Money is so important. And I just encourage the viewers to really educate yourselves privately. Stop trusting the school systems that are out there. Go after information, learn it. And, if they can take after you, then they're going to be a mile ahead of everyone else.
I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, it is history and it is knowledge. If we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat the failures of the past. So that's why I just devour information, especially, about previous empires, previous monetary systems. And it's so important. So we just don't repeat it. So
it's cool to be a nerd again.
Exactly. It is cool to be a nerd. Well, William, thank you so much, man. We'll definitely have you back as we get closer to the actual launch of Z Bandit and also Sound Money Myths TV show. So thanks for
we had you on our show. Now I'm on your show. There we go.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Thanks
for having me. Later.
All right, everybody. And that is our episode. You learned a lot about privacy and how that is integrated with Sound Money and the Sound Money movement. And that's one thing. If you're watching this, you're a stacker, you understand the importance of privacy and what William and Z Bandit is creating in privacy. I mean, that is the solution for those who are afraid of getting involved in the digital aspect, because that is where we're going in the future. The future is going to be digital with real world assets, and hopefully every company in the world sees this quantum random number encryption and wants to put it in there to contain AI and to protect your privacy from any bad actors, including the government. Let me throw this up there. This is my personal view and our guest personal views, but yes, even the government. So before this broadcast ends, if you support Citizens for Sound Money and what we're doing, please visit our website. Learn more about Sound Money education. You can go here. What is money? What is Sound Money? Why Sound Money matters, and asset-backed digital currencies. And if you want to continue supporting what we are doing, supporting our mission of spreading Sound Money, spreading the use of Sound Money and protecting people's rights to do so, join our membership. We have a $25 membership and a $100 membership. You get exclusive access to Metal Markup. It is the best bullion aggregator with the cheapest prices, cheaper than findbullionprices.com. That's one of the many benefits of joining Citizens for Sound Money. And if you want to support our cause or help with the TV show, we have a 501c3 where you can donate for our grants and scholarships. You're going to help fund the Sound Money movement, or we have to change that. The Money Myths TV show, we're developing curriculum from pre-K to university, and we're also have a Sound Money Academy. So follow us on YouTube. We just broke recently 1,000 subscribers. Let's try to get to the next threshold of 2,000 subscribers. and follow us on X. Same handle as YouTube for Sound Money on X and YouTube. Well, thank you everybody for coming in and watching our broadcast. Thank you so much. Have a great week and God bless.